Justin, how autobiographical is this movie?
I'd say it's semi-autobiographical. That's yeah, semi-autobiographical. I mean, everything that's while writing, it was either inspired by something I've been through, or one of my family members been through, or one of my friends has been through. Um, yeah, I mean, there obviously, Brandon breaking into a house. Sometimes you have to, go as dramatic as you can with your characters, but for the most part, I had that uncle. I knew that Flacco. I got jumped over a pair of Nikes. I wrapped in closets, and I drank 40s at a park. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening. But,
masculinity and violence, they're so intertwined in the film and the culture. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's actually the main theme that I set out to explore from the get-go, and the emotional impetus stemmed from a time when I was jumped, about like 10 kids, and the aftermath of that, of feeling the humiliation, and my older brother looking at me and trying to console me, and he was like, it's okay, you're a man now. And I was like, wow, at that moment I was like proud but very sad, and it was, in retrospect, looking back, being like, why is violence always synonymous with being a man? And why are we taught in this like idea of being a man in the social construct of a box of like, you can only feel anger, you can't cry, you have to like exact violence, and that equals power and respect in like the social hierarchy. Even how we talk about women, right? The kids and kicks, never been with a girl, but for some reason they know that they're supposed to talk about how many girls they've been with. It's even in that respect. So I think that for me, even in making the movie and trying to delve into all these themes, revealed a lot about like it really starts with how we talk about it with our youth from an early age, and redefining how we talk about it.
Excuse me. Your film is a visual feast. It just looks amazing. Can you comment on your visual strategy?
Yeah. I mean, I have a definite collage of influences. I mean, as a kid, I grew up with like that Amblin-esque and like Stand By Me type stuff, and but then I kind of forgot film, and when I started making them again, I have a lot of European influences, I'd say. So that's, I think, why I try to make this adventure or this odyssey to give it that Amblin feel, but at the same time in a world that I knew. And so we definitely went in with a visual approach that was often referencing paintings and like Baroque paintings, and I knew the emotional beats where they were biggest, that I wanted time to slow down and feel very subjective through the eyes of Brandon, because he is a 15-year-old with a very vivid imagination. I mean, he sees an astronaut, as part of his subconscious. So that was kind of a way in, and justified the opportunity to be very lyrical, even though there might be dark undertones.
What's striking also is that drugs are such a big part of the backdrop, yet you don't really deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's kind of those in making and telling like narrative stories, right? I always feel like it's a fine line between being preachy and just being immersive, so that the audience feels empathetic towards your characters and understands the story. So it is just being authentic to what I saw and what I know, and was, kids smoke weed, there is lean, there is all, kinds of stuff, but it didn't feel like I needed to like comment on or take a very big stance and say like this is wrong or this is right. It just felt as part of the world, and then to focus on how it's adding to potentially what it means to be a man, right? So it's like they give Brandon, the character, his friends give him a lot of shit because he won't smoke in the beginning of the movie, and by the end he like succumbs to the peer pressure, and that's part of like the ego, and feeding it. And so it's somehow it's still like it was kind of like a way to show his journey to the dark side, where it's like he just starts saying yes even though it's untrue to what he believed in the beginning of the movie.